Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Well, good to have you here. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
Yes, my name is Roselyn. I am an art student here in Utrecht. I study at the HKU. I study illustration. And I'm busy with my final year, so I'm busy with my final art project.
Yeah.
And it's, it's going somewhere.
Okay. And something about your status? Do you have a relationship or something about your age? Everything you want to share? Or if you don't want to share things, that's fine too.
I can share it. I have nothing to hide, I think.
We'll see.
We'll see. No, I'm 23 years old and I live with my mother. My parents are divorced. So.
And where do you live? In Utrecht also?
No, I live in Assendelft, so that's close to Amsterdam.
So you travel for your...
Yeah, I travel 1.5 hours from home to school.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's something about yourself.
Yeah,
and then something about the problem why you're here, or the dilemma, or whatever you might call it. So what brings you here?
Yeah, I always find it quite hard to describe because it has to do with my gender. So I was born as a woman and I've been raised as a woman. But I've always had, I think since I was a child, I didn't fully understand why some things had to be feminine or feminine behavior and I couldn't behave in other ways, or I was expected to be female in some ways, and I've never understood, and I still don't really understand. And it feels like it's
aggravation, a mountain, a pile.
Yeah, it's been piled up. It's been piled up of questions and things that didn't fully make sense to me, which nobody had an answer to. And now I'm totally confused about if I even want to be a woman, if I even am. And I feel I have a lot of feminine aspects, but I also have a lot of male, masculine.
Classical feminine, classical male,
feminine, classical
which we
feminine.
regard to be feminine.
Yeah, which we decided, especially here in the Netherlands.
But we, right,
we
as a culture,
Maybe
a stupid question, but what's the problem with being confused?
Yeah.
So why not just embrace to be confused?
Yeah, so I thought about this too.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot. I'm a thinker. Yeah, because it's uncomfortable to be confused, for me at least.
Why?
Yeah, because
maybe these are stupid questions, but to begin with, why is it difficult to be confused?
Yeah, because I like things to be yes or... Do you understand? I like to have a clear answer to things. And I try to find clear answers to my problems. And probably there isn't a lot of clear answers. But if I have decided this is the answer, then that's fine most of the time.
So if you don't have a clear answer to who am I?
Yeah.
Male or female or whatever, how would you describe it?
Yeah, this is a feeling, so
this confuses you.
Yeah, it confuses me.
And so how would it be if you just would be able to live with being confused? And flip think to be confused into curiosity. Maybe life will bring you some adventures you don't know yet.
Yeah, but it's also a bit scary, isn't it? Because it's I feel it's scary to step out of this. Okay, so I say maybe I am confused, and that's fine. I don't think that's a problem to be confused about my own gender. And I know lots of people who switch their gender, or I think that's totally fine. But it feels a bit... It's scary to me, because if you realize things about yourself you maybe didn't even want to realize.
So could in the future some things be revealed that might endanger you in a possible future, right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I understand this anxiety about the future.
Yeah.
So, but let's focus on the here and now.
Yeah.
Being confused about who you are, does it create a real problem that you cannot deal with today, tomorrow, this week?
No, I don't think it does. Except for a lot of things are gendered in this world.
I know.
Where we live in. So every day when I'm busy, it's less relevant. But when I'm in this mindset of confusion, then in the morning you have to decide what to wear.
Right.
And
now we are getting somewhere because these daily day-to-day decisions depend on this idea of gender, for example, right?
Yeah, so this sometimes stresses me out for what do I want to wear, because I like dressing up. I like thinking about fashion,
which is a more feminine classical role, right?
Classical role.
So you don't want to be completely male in your appearance?
No, I don't think so. No, but also when I was 15 or 16 or something, I finally took the courage to shop at the male section of the store, the male clothing. Yeah. And I really like some male clothing, but I also like some feminine clothing. Yeah. And because this is so it doesn't mean anything. That's I think my frustration comes from this, that it feels like it should mean something, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Is this making sense?
Yeah, it does. So you like shopping in the male section, but in a way you feel uncomfortable doing so. I presume,
because
right?
it feels like you're not supposed to want to. Something like that.
So could we summarize that society has got clear, distinct ideas about roles, feminine and masculine roles, and these clear distinctions don't fit your desires or expectations the way you want to live, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And it confuses you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you're in the store, then you go to the male section, a little bit puzzled and confused because you don't belong there. Yeah. You don't belong there.
It feels a bit uncomfortable.
It feels a bit uncomfortable. But you did so, right? Did you buy some male clothing?
I mostly shop at secondhand stores, which makes it easier because everything is not it's not sections into.
It is not gender divided.
Like dresses are together, but there's no shirts. It's just shirts because it's just shirts. So it makes it a bit easier. But
and then at that moment you're not confused, I presume.
No, I'm not confused
such a store.
then. No, so maybe that's why I find it more comfortable also. But then I buy stuff and I come home and my mom says, something masculine again, because I just naturally radiate more to a bit more gender neutral clothes.
Does she have a judgment on this choice you made on this on this piece of cloth?
Yeah, I think she does, because she likes it more when I dress feminine, because she's feminine herself.
Do you think or do you know that she judges?
It feels like it.
Okay, so you feel being judged by a mother?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes when you buy clothes that are described as typically male.
Yeah, because most of the time they're also a bit more oversized. It's a bit baggy. It doesn't show your figure.
How would you describe her judgment?
Well, in a way it hurts, because
it hurts you.
Yeah, it hurts me. Because
but okay. Yeah, I'll be right back at your feeling.
Yeah.
But how do you think she judges you? Which words would she give describing you?
When we talk a lot, so we know each other, I think, in a way. And she will just say what I already said. She will just say, it's not very flattering. She will say
it
stuff
hides
like
your
that.
figure. You said before, it hides your figure.
Yeah, because it's
oversized,
sometimes,
it's male,
yeah.
And she likes you to stand out as being a woman.
I think so. Yeah. If I express myself. Well, my family is probably like more families. My grandma's has been obsessed with dieting, and we were built quite we're not built. Yeah, how do you say this? We're
fragile.
I'm not very slim or fragile.
You're built strong.
I'm built strong, yeah. And I'm not ashamed of that, and I don't really mind. But there's always been this thing where you have to be slim. Yeah. You can't be described as fat. Right. And I'm just built with curves, so you will always look a tiny bit fat because that's just how I'm built. So I think they're very obsessed with this. You have to look good, I think, and I just don't.
Which is slim and feminine.
Yeah, I think so.
And now you have two problems, because you're not slim.
And I'm not feminine.
And you're not feminine, no.
Enough, in my opinion, in what I think. Because
in what you think
I can be very feminine.
In what you think your mother expects from you on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
You don't deliver on a daily basis.
No.
Because you bring male clothing home.
Yeah.
And you said, and this moves me, you said it hurts when I feel judged by my mother. It hurts.
Yeah.
And can you tell me something about this feeling?
Yeah, because, sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional because I don't know. I really love my mother, and we talk a lot. And I really want to be a good daughter to her, I guess. Right. And in a way, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's so funny. Sometimes you can't cry about anything, and then someone just says something, and just all comes out. Mm-hmm. But I think it feels like I'm not the daughter she wants, I guess, when this runs very deep, I guess.
Yeah, because a daughter wants to be the daughter who is desired by her mother.
Yeah. Quite
naturally, normally. And you have a close relationship, you said before. Right?
Yeah, we're really close.
Yep. Does she know about your hurt?
I don't think... No. Well, she knows I'm not always happy, but...
Does she know about the fact that when she has this kind of judgment, it's not a strong judgment, but you feel it, right? And you feel being judged, not being slim and not being feminine. And it hurts. It really hurts because you want to live up to the expectations of your mother, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. And does she know this hurts you?
I don't think so. I don't think she does. Because I think if she knew, she wouldn't.
And what holds you?
At least I hope so, I think.
Yeah.
But we're always very forward. We always say what's on our mind. So
and you talk a lot.
Yeah, we talk a lot, yeah.
So what holds you back to share your feeling with her?
Maybe insecurity. Maybe also not wanting to tell her something she does is not helping me.
Do you find it difficult to criticize her?
I think so, yeah. Not always. Not in some aspects.
But in this aspect, it is the fact, right?
Yeah. And because her expectations, I can't meet them. Because it's just not who I am.
You are built strong.
I am not. It's just not who I am. So I'd become miserable if I have to meet these expectations every day. So
in a way, when I identify with you, I have the assumption that you carry this deep, deep ingrained feeling of letting your mother down, not being the daughter she really maybe have wanted.
Yeah, maybe.
And having a good relationship in the same time with her.
Yeah.
I have the impression you have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Apart from this problem, right?
Yeah, we have quite a good relationship, yeah. So, yeah.
So being confused is not you with yourself and going to a store. The confusement has to do with you and your relationship with your mother, not being the daughter she really wanted.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe or surely.
I don't know because I just don't know. I'm not sure if it has to do with it.
Well, if imagine, suppose, right, your mother would not have any problems with this whatsoever. Mm-hmm. She would encourage you to go shopping for male clothing, and she dresses herself now and then like a man and likes to do so. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have any problems with this whatsoever. Yeah, imagine, right? Then you still have this kind of confusion about who am I, what clothes do I wear, what do I put on in the morning. Mm-hmm. So how would being confused then feel? Would it still be such a big and strong problem as it is now, or would it then be just what I proposed before, just something, a curiosity, an adventure, something to find out and not think about that much?
Yeah, probably more, because there's always society's expectations, which is also scary because a lot of people have opinions they like to share. But then I'm not so alone. Then it would be at home at least.
Right, and if you would be confident yourself about this, you can make jokes about it or provoke people or make a game with it, like some men were purposely skirts and then confuse people. Is it a man or is it a girl? Who cares? Yeah. They just wear what they want to wear. Mm-hmm. And you could have such a lifestyle if you would have felt backed up by your mother, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably, or?
Yeah, no, yes.
Okay, yes. So the problem is not, to be sure, I try to summarize again, the problem is not about you, who am I, how do I want to live in life and present myself, because although this is something to find out, this is in a way an adventure too, and you'll find your way.
Yeah, it could be really fun.
It could be. I think it's fun. I think it is fun.
But I think fashion is extremely fun, so that's why it's probably also such a big problem in my life.
Why do we have these stupid ideas about who should wear what and why? And
and it's completely out of this world, because in another country, it's totally normal for men to wear what we would call the dress.
During periods in time, men had to have long
Absolutely.
hair, for example.
200 years ago, pink was a male masculine color.
Right.
So
so we agree. All this is about fun and pleasure, adventure, and all these boxes about how we should behave are just funny, and we can change them all the time, and we do so as a humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year. Yeah.
So this is where being confused can be flip thought into being curious and adventure, right?
Yeah.
So it is still a big problem, but the only problem that remains is you letting your mother down, not being the daughter you think she would have wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Slim and feminine.
Yeah, feminine, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who confirms.
So how would you describe, maybe this is an exercise that can deliver us some insight. How would you describe a woman not being slim and not acting feminine?
Most of the time people would say, I'm not sure if I want to say this word, but like a lesbian, a dyke. Yeah, is a description for.
The word in my head was horse, but sorry for this.
This is this is a really non. This is
you are really not judgmental. We are just pulling out words out of your head, right?
Yeah.
It's not what you really think.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So could you say that you, in a way, feel judged by your mother as being a dyke or a lesbian? Not what she really thinks, but what you feel. What you feel she might think in the most negative sense of the word.
I'm not sure if I fully understand, because I don't think she thinks this.
No, me neither. The way you describe your mother and the way you talk a lot together, I think she is open and willing to listen to you. Yeah. But here's a conversation you didn't have, or you didn't talk about this topic. You didn't talk to her about your sensitivity and your feeling to be judged, although she might not judge you that hard, but you didn't have a talk about this. No. There was no conversation.
No.
So I can imagine that in the most darkest moments, when you are lying in your bed alone, not able to sleep, thinking about the relationship with your mother, that you have the feeling that she regards you to be a dyke, a lesbian, behaving in a male way and not being the daughter she really wanted to have.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. And even if the thought of if I would be transgender in a way, I don't know. Maybe I could be. I'm totally not. I don't really know because
you are
this
confused.
is confusion.
Yeah. And you're young. You're 23, right?
And that also feels like letting my mother down, because then I don't even want to be her daughter anymore. Then
you become a son.
Yeah, become a son, and it's hard. We'll have to change things, and it's an uncomfortable process, because it's just uncomfortable for people to get used to this other thing. And a lot of people also think it's. I think a lot of people think it's kind of bullshit. It's not.
Yeah. So but this is not the point in life you are yet.
I know, but this is what worries me, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not even at that point yet. So.
But the confusion, the worry is not about you how to deal with life, because although you are confused in a way, you'll find your path.
I'm sure of that. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for confirming this. The confusion is between you and your mother.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, because that's the base. That's my home. So that's where you should be most comfortable and confident. Right. I think, in an ideal situation. So
then I have bad news for you, difficult news for you. The only thing you have to do is to have a dialogue with your mother about this and stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And say to your mother, this is who I am.
Yeah, maybe.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you would have wanted another daughter, I'm sorry, I can deliver. There is no
she has
other
another
option.
daughter, and she's doing great. She's very feminine, and she's my sister. I love her.
Is she older or younger than you are?
She's younger than me, 9 years.
9 years younger, so she's 14, I presume.
Yeah, she's 14, yeah.
Is there a son too in the family?
Yeah, there's my brother. He's very masculine, so they have both the perfect in my eyes.
Are there 3 children in the household?
Yeah.
So your mother is blessed because she has a masculine boy, a feminine daughter, and then someone in between. So she has it all.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But coming back to what I said before, I think you have no other option than to speak out to your mother and tell her that you are sorry that you can be the daughter she probably would have wanted.
Yeah.
How do you think about having this conversation with your mother?
It scares me. I think it's scary for me because it means having to be truthful, and it feels like it might hurt her. Partly because apparently I couldn't tell her this, and I'm scared to tell her this.
What is the worst case scenario?
In the worst case, she just won't accept it, I guess. That's the worst thing, maybe, that can happen.
Well,
maybe, I think so, yeah.
Imagine the worst case scenario. Imagine.
Yeah.
Which I don't think listening to you is a real scenario. But let's be prepared for them. You agree, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she will reject you 100%.
No.
But imagine she would. Imagine she would.
Yeah.
How would you act upon this? Do you have a counter scenario for this?
If you wouldn't accept this, and this conversation, or we get angry about it, or maybe she'll just say it's all bullshit, I guess, then first I would be really sad. So, and then I probably go to either my friends, maybe I'll crash at their place, get my my head on straight again when there's less emotion, and then maybe either you keep on living like you did, I guess, or you move out. But I'm not sure. Yeah,
there could have been
the worst case. The worst case scenario.
We are preparing for the worst case scenario, which I'm quite sure won't happen. But if you are prepared for the worst, then life becomes a lot easier and lighter than when you're not prepared.
It could always be better.
Right.
Could only be better.
And this is exactly what positive people do, shown by research, scientific research. Optimistic people prepare for the worst case scenario. They have a counter scenario when things happen very badly. And then they think, well, life isn't that bad at all. Whereas pessimistic people don't make any plans for the future. They think, well, everything just goes on like it does. But life doesn't go on like it because accidents happen and people die and people get diseases and people have daughters with very, very strange male aspirations. So life often goes different ways than we expect. And what pessimistic people do is they don't prepare for a future. They think everything will be the same forever.
And then they're always disappointed.
So the funny thing is that, and this is counterintuitive, that the optimistic people prepare for the worst case scenarios.
Yeah, it feels backwards.
Yeah, but this is what we do. So I'm trying to make an optimistic person out of you in this regard by preparing with you together. The worst case scenario is that your mother completely rejects you and doesn't want to see you and doesn't love you anymore, and she throws you. You are living with her, right? She throws you out of the house, which won't happen. But what if it would happen, right?
Yeah.
Would you die? Would you?
Probably not. No.
No, you would live. It would hurt you. You would crash with your friends. You said before.
Yeah.
But you would survive, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And this is the key question, I think. Would you convert to a lifestyle of completely slim femininity? Femininity.
It's a lot of NIs.
Would you adapt to her expectations then? I think the answer is no, right?
No, probably not, no.
You can't. You just can't.
No.
Right?
Oh, if I had to, it would make me completely miserable, I think.
Yeah. And you wouldn't do so, or would you do so?
No, I wouldn't do so, no.
So worst case scenario, which won't happen, we presume right now, your mother rejects you completely, and then you live on your own, your own lifestyle, being sad because you have lost it, which is of course devastating, having lost the connection with your mother for a time, maybe for a longer time, but you would survive and you would carry on living the way you just do, right?
Yeah.
You are nodding.
Yeah.
This is a strong yes?
Yeah, this is a strong yes, yeah.
Okay. Now knowing, now I've turned you into an optimistic
person. Wow.
Now knowing that you would survive, does this help confronting your mother with the fact that you feel judged by her and that this really hurts because you cannot change and you do not want to change yourself?
Yes, of course it works. Of course it works, because if it doesn't work, this is also a good option to just go away and find, I'm 23. I would like to go out of the house one day.
And maybe then it would be a little bit sooner.
And then it would be a little bit sooner, but yeah. But it still makes the conversation hard because it changes things. And if I don't want to hurt her, and if I hurt her, it creates this probably for a while an uncomfortable situation where you're a bit angry with each other. So Still, that's scary, I think.
Let's shift to, so we have prepared now for the worst case scenario. Let's shift to a more realistic scenario.
Yeah.
How do you think when you speak out, really speak out and sharing your feelings, which are sad feelings of being judged and not living up to the expectations of your mother, which is a big deal. Now, imagine you would speak out. What would be a more realistic scenario?
Probably she'll say I'm good as I am, because she always says this. She always tells me I'm good enough who I am. It's fine to be me, I guess. Yeah. And then I probably would ask her if she could, instead of just saying it, also show it in the little things. Yeah. And maybe...
And help you.
Yeah, maybe help me.
Support you when you come home with classical male clothing, that she is just identifying with you and being pleasant with you.
And she doesn't have to like it, because this is not the clothing she likes.
She doesn't have to wear it.
She doesn't have to wear it either. Right? Yeah, that's true.
She can be glad for you.
Yeah, maybe what I really want is just to not have it mentioned at all. It's just how it is. Maybe that's the ideal scenario.
But I think there's some work for your mother to do with herself, isn't there? And maybe her mother too, both being slim and very feminine.
No, they're not slim and very feminine. But
they're not.
They're both feminine.
Yeah, they aspire to. They thrive.
No, if they would have been slim, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Oh, they're not slim.
No, they're not slim. But it doesn't.
Oh, it's something they want for themselves. And
probably,
if they don't manage for themselves, then they transfer this ideal to their daughter.
Yeah, of course, because they berate their own body, so my body looks the same. So
interesting.
This is probably
so her judgment on you is a judgment she has about herself too, probably.
Yeah, and her judgment on herself feels like judgment on me, because I have the same body as her.
Right.
This is probably
the dialogue even more.
The problem which I've been living with my whole life, because I don't really mind being a bit.
But she does. Yeah.
That feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the more realistic scenario would be that she would love you altogether, that it makes no difference, and that she has to adjust to this, because now it's on the table, it's there, it has words, and she knows now that it's not something, when she says it's funny, but it really hurts. She knows, which is new, but you'll survive together, as a more realistic scenario. So now back to the starting question. You came into the studio. I am confused. How is it about this confusement now? Is this problem solved? Can you deal with it now?
Well, maybe the problem is not solved, because I don't think this is a problem that I ever really truly solve in my mind. But at least it's now a fun problem, like a math problem, which you can. Right. What do you say?
Yeah.
At least I think math problems are quite. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. Yeah. So
in this regard, we could flip think the problem. Being confused in curiosity. And with your mother, you can solve it by having a conversation.
Having a conversation, truly.
And maybe by having this conversation in a very good, sensitive way, in which you both really listen to one another's feelings and thoughts, this could intensify your relationship with your mother.
Probably, yeah. I think,
and then this could lead to flip thinking the situation, making something good out of a kind of unpleasant situation, not having yet conducted a dialogue with one another. So, how are you feeling right now with your...
Well, it feels a bit lighter, doesn't it?
That's good to hear.
It feels a little less problematic. Even I knew in a way it had to do probably with expectations from... I thought it on a broader spectrum, but I've never really cared about what other people think of me. So it's nice to know where the real problem is coming from.
It's you and your mother.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's always been, huh?
Yeah. So the answer lies partly in the future.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the outcome of this dialogue with your mother. And I have the assumption, too, that you will just walk in Mills stores without being completely confused or whatever, that you continue this adventure in this way. It's a light problem.
It's not the worst problem to have.
Right. So we'll stay in touch. And if you and your mother have had this dialogue, we are eager to listen and hear about the outcome.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
All the best.
This gives me a deadline or a stok achter de deur.
Yeah, stick behind the door.
Stick behind the door, yeah.
I don't think this is an English expression.
I don't think either.
As we are both Dutch, we don't care at all.
No.
Yeah. Well, it was good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Yeah, thank you.
Wondering how our guest is doing these days? Well, we recently caught up with them. Stay tuned to hear their latest update.
Hi, people from the Flip Thinking podcast. It's been more than 2 months ago since I had my conversation with Bertolt. I couldn't re-listen to the conversation. I'm not sure exactly why. Because I don't really have a hard time with listening back to myself normally, but I just couldn't. For some reason, I couldn't do it. I was a bit busy with school, but beside that, I don't know, it was just hard. I kept it in the back still, my issue of my mind. I tried to keep it back, but it was just there still, because it doesn't just go away, and it will probably never really go away. It just will stop being a problem, hopefully, someday. And it's starting to become less and less and less of a problem with every little piece of sand. The mountain gets less big, something like that. And, well, it's been going better. My conversation with Bertolt helped a lot in the way that I stopped thinking what other people were gonna... about the opinion of other people when I try to tackle the problem in my mind. So I was more thinking, what does make me happy? And I started thinking about it from myself instead of from the perspective of others. And that really helped. And that's still really helping. Because at the end of the day, it's my life. And there will always be people who resonate with my likes and opinions, and there will always be people who won't resonate with it. So that's really been helping. It's a bit scary for me to share it because I haven't told a lot of people. There's only like a handful of people in my personal life who know. I think there's a lot more people who in a way know, but I haven't told them. So that's still a bit scary. But it's also freeing to bring it out to the world and feel less like it's this big secret, which is not. But I'm just not ready to openly speak about it yet. And I hope I will be someday, no matter what I decide to do in the end with my gender. But that's really so... Yeah, thank you very much for the conversation and have a nice day.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.